Whoops, am I right? Whoops. It's been a long time. I'm not sure how long, but probably 2 months, maybe longer. I didn't really mean for this. I didn't really mean for this to happen, but life just kind of got in the way. Welcome back to the While We Wait podcast with me. How are you? Honestly, like really, how the fuck are you? It's been a minute. So the podcast does exist. It does exist. It's still happening. I didn't fall out of love with it. I didn't give up. I just didn't do it. I just didn't find the time, make the time, had the energy. There was a lot of things going on. But anyway, I'm so glad to be back. I've really missed it, actually. I've really, really missed it. This is such a nice outlet for me. And I was doing well, I'm building a little community here. So I want to keep it up. This is episode 4 of While We Wait. And I just kind of wanted to catch up a little bit. It's been a tumultuous few months, to say the least. But I'm hoping that maybe in sort of revisiting that time, some of you may be able to kind of either relate to some of the stuff I've been going through, or, I don't know, maybe just find some comfort or little ideas of things that I've kind of done to cope. And maybe you can use them for yourself. Who knows? But as we know, and as we have learned in the past 3 episodes, the nature of this podcast is that I just yap for 30 plus minutes. And you listen and you like it, okay? But this time I went into Costa today. I don't know is that good? Do we like her? I don't know. I live in a small town. I don't have many options. And it's the only place that I feel comfortable sitting for hours and not paying that much money, So yeah, I sat and I bought this really cute little wintry notebook from W.H. Smith, and I wrote 4 pages of what was supposed to be notes for this episode, but has ended up basically just being journaling, but whatever. So I guess, yeah, I just want to kind of start at the very beginning. I was born, just kidding. So I'm going to start at the kind of, I don't know, I guess the beginning of this absence. Okay, so I'm nervous. All my sentences are getting mixed up. I can't fucking form a cohesive thought because the bitch is nervous. Okay, so if I just say some swear words, it will make me feel better. All right, so yeah, as we know, ADHD was rife. And I didn't quite have the coping mechanisms yet. However, I was working on it, and I was doing my living life therapy, which I believe I spoke about in the last episode. I haven't re-listened to anything. As soon as I post an episode, I don't re-listen to it because I have to listen to it so many times when I'm editing it. And boy, do I have to edit it. Yeah, I just can't be arsed. I've listened to it so many fucking times. I'm like, yeah, I've heard it all before. But yeah, I did not revisit those in preparation for this episode, so I have no idea what I have spoken about and what I haven't spoken about. But I'm gonna just go ahead and make a rough guess. Okay. So I was receiving free therapy through the NHS 24 service, Living Life. Fucking brilliant, by the way. Please use it if you need it. Please, please, please. It's so good. It was brilliant, and it was so helpful to me. I had it for 6 sessions, which took place over 7 weeks, and it was just the fucking best. It came at the perfect time. To paint a picture, all those months ago, I was living in Glasgow with my partner, and I think within the first couple of sessions of Living Life, and then kind of suddenly my partner and I separated, and it became clear that I was going to have to move back in with my parents because, girl, Glasgow is so fucking expensive. It's so expensive. And I graduated this year, so I'm not a student anymore, and I don't get gorgeous little sass. Sass is so sexy, man. So I don't get that anymore. So I just couldn't afford it. Anyway, more on that in a sec. But anyways, so yeah, a bunch of huge life stuff kind of happening all at once. But it just so happened to perfectly coincide with my 6 weeks of living life therapy. Holy shit. It helped me so much. It helped me so much. I think even just getting me in that mindset where I was like almost just sort of like training to look after myself, if that makes sense. Like I was just kind of practicing, you know? And in all honesty, like my life before, oh my God, it was so stagnant. I wasn't doing anything. I wasn't stimulating myself in any way, shape, or form. None of the choices I was making were for any kind of fulfilling future. I was just like, I was so codependent and I was boring as fuck. I was so boring, and I was bored by my life, if that makes sense, and by the choices that I was making. Yeah, I think living life. I, to be fair, a lot of the choices that I was making were because of my ADHD, and like, not to blame everything on that, but also to blame everything on that because it's kind of my brain, you know, and your brain tends to sort of dictate a lot of what you do. Um, yeah, so I was so not doing what I should be doing. I was like just not focused on myself. I was living a life of constant distraction and like was never actually addressing any issues. just creating more and avoiding the ones that I had was basically the system that I had created for myself. So it was not working out. Living life helped me so much with that. Obviously, becoming single and living at home, like moving town, was a big kind of life thing that I was very scared about and thought, you know, oh my God, I'm fucked. Like, oh shit, I thought shit was hard before. Fuck, this is not going to be good. Like I was more like I didn't really have any huge feelings of like, you know, shit, this is terrible. I was more just like, this is probably going to be terrible eventually. Like when it hits me that this is happening, it's going to be bad. But then it kind of just never happened. It just kind of never happened. Um because I think with therapy, I was just kind of in the mindset of looking after myself, and I was sort of I'd been putting in some practice. I'd had a few sessions already or whatever, maybe only one or two, but it was, you know, it was something that was on my mind. And I think I just kind of jumped into self-preservation mode, um, because I was like, okay, these things are hard. Um, so I have to protect myself. And like all of those feelings that now have kind of nowhere to go, I have to just funnel them straight back into myself. And honestly, if I hadn't had that kind of outlook on it, I think I'd be in a very, very different place and mindset right now. So I'm so grateful, because I really think therapy is what put me in that place and gave me that perspective. Because, you know, I was obviously a little bit resistant to moving home at first. You know the vibes. I was like, I'm a city girl and I will never not be a city girl. I'm going to live in Glasgow forever. You know? And unfortunately, when that became not true, or when I was kind of facing the reality of, girl, you don't have any money and you're on a 5-hour contract at your job, this is not going to work out. Hey, girl, turns out this isn't going to work out. So yeah, I was just kind of, I kind of had this moment where I was talking to my family, and I was like, this situation is, I can decide whether I want this to be difficult or not. If I make the conscious decision that me moving back home is a huge setback, then it will be that. But if I decide that this is a fresh start, I'm able to kind of just like wipe the slate completely clean and have a little bit of time to myself. And, you know, without loads of financial burdens, without time pressures, I can get a job that is, you know, that works better. The job I had before wasn't particularly demanding, but it was more demanding than I could cope with the current state of my mental health. So, you know, I was like, this just gives me, I have to view this as an opportunity, because that, you know, that's my choice. That's my choice. I either choose that this is hard, or I choose that this is something that I can get through. And luckily, I chose the latter, and it was a very, very easy decision. And it you know, it didn't take me long to come to that conclusion. And I'm like, I don't know if you're like, duh, but to me, that's a huge thing. Like, that's a huge thing, because I don't think, with where my health had been in the past, or like in the recent past, I don't think I would have done that for myself. I wouldn't have guessed that I would have done that for myself, which is, I think, why I was so like, oh shit, this is I'm gonna be fucked up. But I wasn't. I really, really wasn't. And I was just like, I just dealt with it, and I just sort of kept rolling. I don't know, but it didn't come out of nowhere. Therapy was a huge contributing factor to that, which is why I recommend it so highly. I'd never ever done therapy before, and I don't know, man. It was so good. It was so good. Even just like, I found a lot of the breakthroughs that I had came from my own brain, you know? Like, she wasn't forcing information on me or forcing things on me. She was just kind of opening up that space for me to find it all myself, and like, I guess, teaching me the right language to use. It was just wonderful. It was just wonderful, and I would recommend it so highly. Anyways, then we kind of get to like maybe a month after I moved home, say. Or within that kind of first month, because I moved home within that first month of being single and whatever. So the complete antithesis of what antithesis? Is that what I mean? The complete opposite. I'm gonna go ahead and not use words that I don't understand. Just, I'll Google it later. Immediately my life opened up. Like, which is the opposite of what I expected. I thought I would clam up. I thought I would be so isolated because all of my friends live in Glasgow or live in London. So I was just like, not that me living in Glasgow made it easier for me to see my friends in London, but you understand. I was like, I'm going to feel so isolated. It's going to be blah, 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 blah. But I didn't latch onto those thoughts, and I just kind of acknowledged them and let them fuck off. But yeah, I got home and I was like, oh, I should have done this ages ago. Like, oh shit, this is where I was supposed to be all this fucking time. And thank fuck I'm here. Like, and it wasn't even necessarily this location, but just this, like, this phase of my life, like this little, back in this little cocoon of safety. And the thing I keep fucking saying is, all that I have been craving for the past year plus has been peace. Just some peace. Probably actually even more than a year. That's literally like 2 fucking years. I felt like everything was so fucking tumultuous all the time, and I was just like so emotionally exhausted. I didn't know what the fuck was going on in my brain, and then I kind of did know what was going on in my brain. I didn't like it. Sure, I knew, but I didn't fucking like it. It didn't make it any easier. It was just, oh, okay, now I have something to call it, but like, what does that fucking change? And you know, I was kind of constantly like these little battles, but just like constant. And I got home. I left my job. I found a new job at the cutest place in the fucking world, where I don't have someone like looking over my shoulder at all times, making sure I'm doing everything the exact way they want it done. I can still do things, but in my own little dumb, let's not call it dumb, my own little fun, different, neurodivergent way, where the task very much gets completed, but just my way. And with I think a large part of what my way is just alone. And I didn't know that about myself. I always was just like, yeah, I love working in a team. I love having loads of people around me. I love that aspect, and I loved the people that I used to work with so much. I was so sad to leave them. Um, and starting this new job, I was kind of intrigued as to how I would find working by myself. Um, but oh my god, it's been so good. Oh my god. Um, and I still like I see my coworkers every now and then, and I really like them, and it's really nice to see them. Um, but like having like basically the vast majority of my day be me like making my own decisions and doing the tasks that I think need to be done in the order that I want to do them or that I see fit. It's just fucking, oh my god, it's so healing, man. It's so healing because I can just have ADHD without it feeling like it's holding everyone else back, or you know, it's I don't know. I think it was almost like people felt they really had to bend to me, but I don't know. It's tough. It was a very customer service centered job, so it was tricky when I would have those days where I couldn't fake a smile, you know. I don't know if that's an ADHD thing, but like I just I just would sometimes have days where I completely clocked out, like I was not present, and I like what I mean by that is not like I wasn't living in the moment. I don't mean that kind of present. I mean like I was absent. Like I was not in my own brain, like, you know. And they would be like, "Hey, what the fuck is going on with you?" And I'd be like, "Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I'm just I'm not here right now." And there was nothing I could do about it, you know? And other people were relying on me, and it was a very like, I don't know, it was a very particular kind of job. Whereas this one, it's still customer focused, obviously. Like it's still a shop, but I don't know, it's so different. And like if I don't smile, no one's gonna be like, "Get your shit together, fucking smile right fucking now." You know? Because at the end of the day, no one's fucking looking at me. No one fucking cares if I'm smiling or not. And when they do look at me, I do smile because that's my natural human response when another human being looks at me. But I'm not like, you know. Anyways, I'm not having to force some bubbly attitude, and I can just kind of be myself and do what I need to do when I need to do it, and it's fucking bliss. All right. I work half days, but I get paid way more. And I actually work real hours. It's wonderful. It's perfect. I saw that they were hiring on, because I had always really liked this shop, and I was like, I wonder. And I saw on Instagram that they were hiring, got in touch, got the fucking job. Hey, we love to fucking see it. We love to see a girl win. And I did, I won, and I got it, and I was so fucking pleased. And it's been the perfect job, for me, especially right now. And I'm so grateful that it was there, and that to me further solidifies the fact that this was the right fucking move, and that I should have been here this whole fucking time. But or more so, actually, not that I should have been here the whole time, but that where I am right now is correct. That where I am right now is so correct for me. So yeah, it was just like life became easier. My ADHD symptoms really like subsided to the point where they were I really felt like I wasn't thinking about them ever. I wasn't like, they were not something that I was worried about, because I was able to just kind of function the way I needed to function, and it was fine. And I was creating my own little routine, you know. It was still flexible, but it was new and fun, and it was great. It was great. And that sense of calm and that peace that I have been searching for a really fucking long time was there just all of a sudden. And I remember in my last therapy session, I said that to my therapist, and she was like choked up, you know. She was like, from where you started to where you are now, it's like incredible to see. And I was like, it's incredible to experience. Like I was so like, yo, I'm never gonna fucking achieve anything in this life if I keep going like this. To having hope, to not even just like planning for the future, because bitch, I used to plan for the future. It didn't mean I would actually fucking do anything, but you know, I was suddenly writing the best music I've ever written and actually taking it fucking seriously. Not that I didn't take songwriting seriously, but I I was like, just like, oh no, this song will be released soon. Like, this is actually happening. And that was always something I had wanted to happen and maybe spoke about happening with music I'd previously written, but I never took it as fucking. I was never just like actually fucking doing it. Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense? Like, yeah, I was I was like reconnecting with my passions in a way that I hadn't been able to do it in years. I was like picking up different hobbies just to keep myself having fun, you know, because that was all sort of part of that self-protection, just like, you know, keeping myself busy, but it was also just really fun. And you know, I took up all kinds of crazy shit. I took up all kinds of crazy shit. Like punch needling. You ever heard of that? Probably not. It's fucking great though. It's crocheting for dummies. If you suck at crocheting, which I fucking do, it's too many holes. It's too many fucking holes, man. I hate it. I hate it so fucking much. Why is there so many holes, and why do I never put the fucking thing in the right one? And that's what he said. Anyways, it's too much. So punch needling, so much fucking easier. Literally a little design and you just hack away at it with a needle and thread, and it just somehow does it. I don't really understand how it works, but it fucking does it. It's brilliant. Highly recommend. Anyways, yeah, like I just sort of fell into those kinds of things, and I was just occupying my mind in a real way, and it was great. It was great. I focused a lot on self-care. I've recently made a self-care like basket thing because I'd seen that everywhere online. It was like making yourself a little self-care box. So I'll actually put mine out right now. It's in a little trolley. So what do I have? I have more sheet masks than any human being really requires, but I love a fucking sheet mask. I love a sheet mask. So I have loads of those. I have some incense. That is it's Reiki incense. It smells fucking delicious. Although I actually kind of prefer just like keeping it in the box. I've never owned incense before. And when I lit this for the first time, I was like, oh, I'm in a gas chamber. Like, oh, I might die in here. Like this might be the end for me. My lungs are choked right now. So you have to use it in a well ventilated space, and I live in a little bedroom, so that is not that, you know. So I extinguished it pretty quickly, but it still smells great from within the box. So anyways, I have some watercolor paints. I have some little dermaplaning blades. Why not? I like to have a baby smooth face, I guess. I have some wax melts. I have tiger balm, and I have chocolate coins because they're my advent, because I didn't get an advent calendar in time. It's fine. Well, I did buy an advent calendar, but I bought it in like mid-November. Towards the end of November, because I was like, I know what I'm going to do. It's going to come around to the 1st of December and I'm going to forget to get a fucking advent calendar, and then I'm going to end up with an entire month without fucking Chalky. And what way is that to live? And I end up like fucking ordering it on Amazon. And it's like the shittest thing in the world. Anyway, so I did buy the advent calendar, and then I found myself in that dire situation that we sometimes end up in, where I needed chocolate more than I needed oxygen. And was that like really millennial to say? I just really needed my chicken nuggets. I needed chocolate more than I needed to wear Converse while I walked down the aisle. I needed it. And I didn't have any, except I did. But it was just behind 24 little cardboard doors. So you know what I fucking did? I'm an adult, right? Listen up. I'm an adult and I can make my own decisions. And I can live for me. All right? I can live for me and I can do what the fuck I want. I opened every single one of those fucking doors and I scoffed the lot in one night. 24. 24 of them down the hatch. And I don't regret it. I don't regret it at all. Now I have little gold coins, and they're way bigger than the chocolates that are in a fucking advent calendar, and they're just as tasty. So I think I actually kind of cheated the system there. I also have a gua sha and a jade roller. So, oh, and I have my favorite things in all of the world, oracle cards. I got these oracle cards from the girls I used to work with, God bless them, because holy shit, the very first time we pulled cards together, all kinds of insane shit happened immediately. And that's when I knew that these cards were correct for me. There was 5 of us, and 3 out of 5 of us pulled the exact same card. In fact, actually, I think it basically jumped out of the deck for 3 of us. And the other 2 girls also got the same card, but it was a different card. Does that make sense? Like, they too got the same card, but it wasn't the same as our card the other 3 got. So out of 5 people, the same 2 cards were pulled, which was pretty fucking crazy. And I've had all kinds of weird ass divine shit happen with these cards since then, and I love them. I love them so much. I'd like to plug them because they're fucking great, and I would highly recommend if you're into that type of shit. Also, like, just be into that type of shit. It's so fun, just to be introspective. You know, they're called the Work Your Light Oracle cards by Rebecca Campbell, artwork by Danielle Noel, and they're sick. They're fucking sick, and they're also beautiful. And they, like, I kid you not, have helped me so fucking much. Like, no joke. Having them as a little reminder of, like, I don't know, I'm a spiritual lady, so for me it's like, I don't know, it's a beautiful little personal thing also, but at the same time I think these kinds of cards just such a great tool to remind me, especially when I was no longer getting therapy. They were a really good way to remind me to look after myself, basically, and just like really kept me introspective and moving forward and like thinking about myself and how I was going to live my life, you know, which was something that I hadn't been doing for a year and a half. Like, I wasn't thinking about myself that way, you know. I was just so stagnant. And so these cards were a really great way to kind of keep up that like action, you know, and drive, I guess. So, okay, back to the notes. So yeah, with the self-care, the spirituality, all of it, the lessons that I learned through therapy, my friends, my family, carried me through what would have been a really difficult time. But, you know, I got through it pretty much unscathed, and I'm so fucking grateful for that. It was really like the transformation that I didn't know I needed until it happened. And I'm just endlessly grateful for it. Okay, so that brings us to the present. It's gotten a little weird again. No, it hasn't really. It hasn't really. It's luckily it's nowhere near as weird or difficult as it was before. It's a very different type of weird, but I can sort of just like sense a little scratching in my brain. And I think essentially I've gotten really comfy in this like peaceful life that I've built here. And my brain is like simultaneously getting a little bit bored. So it's like creating issues, or it's like it's so set in this comfort that it's like, if you ever do anything to jeopardize this, if you fucking ever lift a finger in the wrong direction, if you do something that is going to fuck this up for me, I'm going to be pissed, right? Like, that's essentially the attitude that is going on, which which is frustrating because, you know, all of these doors have opened and I have so much opportunity here, and I'm finally actually like thinking I have a future that to look forward to. Like this life is going to be special. Like this life is going to be fucking sick. And it's like right in front of me. I just need to basically grab it. But instead of grabbing it, I'm like watching TikTok. Instead of grabbing it, I am watching Gilmore Girls, and rewatching every other TV show that I've ever seen. So, you know, that is effectively getting me fucking nowhere. And I'm getting really fucking bored. But it's becoming hard to put down those habits. And I don't think I realize that the thing that my brain is like basically distracting me from is taking these steps for my future. But in hindsight, it's very clear that it's kind of it's like my ego being like, I don't want anyone to tell me that I'm bad at stuff. So therefore I can't do. It's like holding me back from doing things that I'm sure, yes, of course people may have bad things to say about, but who fucking cares, you know? And also that is an opinion that if I don't release anything, if I don't do anything with my fucking life, then no one will be able to form any opinion because there will be no substance there, you know? So it's just that weird kind of like preemptive protection thing, from basically non-existent threat, which is fun. I've been distracting myself with social media and TV to avoid tasks that may risk the peace. But I'm like rearing to go, you know? Like I really feel it in life right now. I'm like on the edge of my seat. It's a weird thing to try and describe, but I feel like I'm like I'm at the start of the race, you know? And I'm in that weird position, you know, where the little, I've never done sports. Do they have like little foot propellers? What is that? What is that thing? It's not a foot propeller. That sounds, it's like where, you know, they're about to do a sprint and they're like down, they're like squatted down, but their feet are on that little thing that maybe like pushes. Guys, I've literally never ran a single day in this life. Anyways, you know what I fucking mean. I'm about to take off, you know, and I can like feel my engines revving. Does that make sense? Oh my god, you're gonna listen to this episode and you're gonna be like, oh, sick. So Sophie's lost her mind. That is really cool. So she's lost it. All right, let's sign off. No, I swear, I really mean it this time. But no, this is a feeling that I've never had before, ever. In 22 years of living, I've never ever had this feeling because I've always just had other shit going on. You know, school and uni and working little menial jobs to get me through school and uni. And you know, I was always kind of in pursuit of some imaginary goal that I didn't even want to fulfill, if that makes sense. Like this sort of future that didn't intrigue me in any way, shape, or form. But, you know, I was studying for it. I was whatever. It was not interesting to me whatsoever. And I think what this time at home has really been able to do for me is allow me to just like basically go, listen, in this life, I am never going to have another time where I don't have financial burdens. I'm actually finally back in a place where I can start saving money again because I was hemorrhaging money. I was hemorrhaging money when I still lived in Glasgow. It was unbelievable. And now I'm in this place where I can actually start to save, and it's miraculous, truly. And I feel so lucky to be in this position. And you know, this is not going to come around ever again. And, you know, I know that people say there's no such thing as the perfect time is now. And that is true. But I actually also mean that. I mean that in the sense of the phrase, but I also mean that in a literal sense. Like, this is actually the perfect time. For real. You know? So I'm like excited. I'm on the, like I said, I'm on the edge of my fucking seat, like rearing to go. Um, and you know, I come home from work and I'm like, whoo, let's do this. And then I'm on TikTok until 2 o'clock in the morning and I haven't moved a fucking muscle. Like it's crazy. It is crazy how powerful the mind is. And like there's such rare little appearances of consciousness in that time. But you know, I have these little, you know, things of like, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to do this. I don't want to be on my phone anymore. I don't want to watch this. But my finger just scrolls anyway. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's truly sometimes like I do not have power over my own body. It's fucking insane. Um However, now I fucking clock that shit. Now I fucking paying attention. And now that I'm saying it out loud and now that I've like, you know, I'm consciously aware of it and I'm like, that's a choice. I've deleted fucking everything, man. I've deleted everything. I've deleted Instagram. I've deleted TikTok. Not in a real sense because I can re-download it and I do sometimes. But I don't scroll on there. You know, I really try my best. I'm like really trying to do a social media detox because it is poisoning my brain. And I'm also becoming acutely aware that I have a extremely real dopamine addiction that I need to sort out. So that's also the goal. But yeah, you know, so that's happening. But I can feel myself coming out the other side of it. You know, this has been maybe the last couple of weeks that I've been feeling this way. But I also don't give myself enough credit because also within the last few weeks, I have been doing really amazing things like making visualization boards so I can like actually start to see and touch my future, you know, and like that will help me to manifest it and to align myself with those goals so much more so that I can actually start taking steps towards it. However, every single divine message that I am getting is that no matter what steps I take, I'm always headed in this direction. Like this future is decided for me and it's beyond what I can imagine. And I just need to move and I will be guided in the right direction. Like whatever movement feels correct is the right one. And that's a very comforting sort of place to be. That's like a comforting feeling. And I don't know, all signs are extremely positive. I feel so driven and I feel so certain. I wrote a list of like genuinely almost, it's probably, I've been adding to it as well. It's close to 50 things, right? That's a fucking lot. 50. But I kid you not, when I look at that list, and that basically this is career, pretty much mostly career focused, but it's, you know, it's what my life is going to look like in the not so distant future and beyond. And it's a lot. It's big. And it's crazy to be saying it on a fucking podcast that I'm going to share, but you know, it's big stuff. And I look at all of those things and I think, you know, past me would have looked at that and been like, in your wildest fucking dreams, shut the fuck up. But something has changed within me. I shouldn't have seen Wicked. Oh my God. I've become so fucking annoying. It's a good film though. You gotta go watch it. Fuck. I cried for 2.5 hours. I kid you fucking not. It's so good. And I've only seen the musical once and it was 7 years ago. Anyways, it's fucking brilliant. I look at that list now of almost 50 things and I just go, well, yeah. Well, yes, of course. Duh. Dadoy, Your Honor. And it sort of just makes sense. I don't know. It's crazy because I swear to you, I'm not being a fucking prick. Like I'm not, it just feels achievable. It feels like, oh yeah, I can manage that for sure. And I think it's because I was the only one getting in my way before, the only fucking one. And it's only ever been me getting in my way, you know? And I can feel that part of me stepping aside now. And the future just, I mean, it all just opened up in front of me. And I kind of, like, I've been being told by my extremely intelligent and like spiritual and wonderful friends that I should make visualization boards for a long time, right? Because I do have a lot of aspirations, and they were aware of that, and they were like, then girl, gotta fucking make one, please, so you can actually see it for yourself and start working towards it. Because I'm such a visual learner, and I'm so visually driven. I don't know why I've been holding myself back. Well, no, I do know why, because that part of me that doubted it was always in my way. But like I said, she's just sort of stepped aside recently, and now it's all there. It's like the clouds have passed and the sun is like so fucking bright. And I'm like, fuck yeah, man. That's for me right there. So yeah, I just like, it's so exciting. But at the same time, I'm just like, okay, I gotta just do the work. And I just gotta, and it's fun, you know? It's all about fun for me. And I don't know. Maybe I'm a fucking delusional nut job. I don't know, and I don't really care because I'm in this position where I don't have to care right now, and it's very freeing. It's extremely freeing. So fuck it. You know? Fuck it. I'm just going for it. So I'm back. I'm back, bitch. And you can't get rid of me. But yeah, this really is the first time in 22 years that I've like let myself accept that this is the life I was always supposed to lead. And I realized that I've been having the same dreams, I've been having the same aspirations since truly for as long as I can remember. And I think obviously, you know, when you're a kid, it's kind of like, oh, you know, of course she's going to have aspirations like that. She's 7. Every 7-year-old has aspirations like that. But they never left me, like, ever. And they were always in the back of my mind with every kind of career-based decision, education-based decision that I made. It was always in the back of my head as like this, nah, you're not going to be doing that. You're going to be doing this. Or you don't want to do that. You want to do this. Don't fucking lie to yourself. That was always in the back of my head. And it's been what I've wanted for my life and what I've seen for my life for 15 years. And I'm only little, you know. That's a long time. So I don't know. So yeah, for this all of this stuff that I'm looking forward to, it's like a high risk, high reward type thing. And the fear that I have is pretty imaginary and future based. And I know better than to give in to what ifs and silly ego preserving hang-ups. But I think a lot of it is subconscious. Like, it's not clear in the moment why I can't seem to put my phone down or get out of bed. But in hindsight, it's clear it's all a distraction from taking steps towards my goals, in case, God forbid, something actually exciting happens that requires a couple minutes of actual brain use, or some big evil monster will make themselves known and tell me their sole purpose is to knock me down at every step of my journey. Anyways, the brain is a silly thing. This is me reverting to my notes because I've been talking for almost 2 hours and I feel like I need to fucking hurry the fuck up. Okay, we're on the last page. There was 4 pages. There's 4 pages. Okay. So here we go. I suppose the first step in all of this is acknowledging the silliness so as to be able to clock when I'm distracting myself and stop sooner. Which I think for me and my silly brain, often when I become like really conscious of something and I make myself abundantly like aware of it, I kind of, whenever I do it again, it's kind of embarrassing. Like, it's kind of dumb because I'm like, I don't know. It's basically, it makes it harder for me to keep up the dumb behavior because I've now completely and fully acknowledged that it's dumb. So if I keep it up, it's like, girl, you're consciously choosing this. Before, sure, we can maybe blame it that it was a subconscious distraction. Fine. But now this is conscious. So you gotta fucking stop. Anyways, so I think coming back to the pod is a great way to remind myself of what's important and what makes me happy / fulfilled / recognize my purpose. So anyway, Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate it. I hope you come back. Yo, it's been months. I hope you come back. I can't make any promises of consistency because I may not be able to keep them. However, you'll definitely be hearing and seeing more of me. Aren't you lucky? Aren't you lucky? Um, but yeah, I hope you're doing well. Please write to me with some updates on just how you're getting on. Um, I've heard from a couple of you kind of through this little break. And I'd like to hear more from those people. I'd like to hear more from people that I haven't heard from. I would like to hear from everyone. This is me asking all of you how things are. Please answer. But yeah, I will always respond. Every message I receive, I will always respond with the most joy and the most enthusiasm. Yeah, that's it for me. Here we are. It's episode 4. Yeah, I hope you're well. Thank you for listening. Love ya. I don't know what's coming. I don't know what's coming next, but you'll be there when it does, right? Right? I definitely will be. Okay. Goodbye now. Have a great day /night/morning.